Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana hobby guy. And today I'm sitting here looking at something that I used to make a little bit differently, but I'm pretty amazed at how nice this actually works. And these are flashback pins, or anti-flashback pins, excuse me. What they do is they hold your work up off the work bed. They're like honeycomb pins, except they have a standoff so that when the laser cuts through the piece, it doesn't reflect off of the honeycomb, the steel honeycomb that's underneath. And this is, especially a problem if you have steel and you use magnets. The aluminum ones are not quite so bad. So today we're going to be taking a look at these honeycomb pins. I'm going to show you how you can get them. I'm going to show you how you can, well, I'm not going to show you how, but I'm going to tell you how you can make them yourself. Most people are just going to want to spend a couple bucks and buy a set. But really great idea. Works really well. I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. So let's jump over next door to the laser lab and take a look and watch this thing actually working. All right. Here it is set up on the bed. I'm going to show you in just a minute how to put them on and take them off. It's really very, very easy, but here you can see they stand off the material from the honeycomb bed, and that is what prevents the flashback. And you can put them in any position that you want, anywhere around the material. Here I'm just going to start this job and speed up the video so that we can get through it and you can see the actual results. I was talking in this video. I decided to do the voiceover instead. But this 10 watt that I'm using does use the size 8 pins. We'll cover that in a moment. But in the meanwhile, here is our cut of a picture frame that I was doing. And I'm going to compare this side by side to another similar one. You can see there is absolutely, that is the perfect cut. No little burns, no smoke, no debris anywhere. I'm going to compare that to a similar one now that I did just previously to this. And do you see all the flashback that's on there? That's common. It's on every laser. You can't avoid it. And sometimes when you're cutting up something out of a piece of wood, you'll notice that the cut will be dotted where it won't cut all the way through, and you'll have to flip over to the back side and finish the cut with an X-Acto knife. Well, you won't have to do that with this because your laser will cut better using standoffs. And I used to use standoffs quite a bit. I don't know why I stopped using them, but there is an extreme difference between using them and not using them, and there is a big difference in the cutting. So here's how you use them. You just twist to lock. Find a hole, stick it in, twist it on. That's all there is to it. It really is very, very simple. And if you're worried about the fact that it takes up too much space on the material, you can turn it to the point where you need it. Even if you need to get all the way up to the edge of the material like that, where you need to use almost every bit. See that? That's about 1 millimeter. So that's how you use these. Alright, so let's jump into Lightburn real quick, and I'll show you something that might be familiar to you. This is my universal pull-down pin. I designed this about 10 years ago. I uploaded the first video to YouTube. I've only been on YouTube for 2 years. I guess about 1.5 years ago, you might have seen me designing these pins, and I do give them away free in my online store, engraveandcutfiles.com. This is a standard pin that you can create yourself. Down here, I do have these anti-flashback pins. I do like the 3D printed ones much better. They don't break as easily as these do, but I do cut them out of 3mm wood. You'll see this is the universal one here, and this will fit anything because it moves. So this is a living vertical piece here, and they squeeze together as you put it down into the honeycomb bed. But if we get rid of that one, if we bring in like an 8x3, so this is an 8x3, this will fit your standard diode honeycomb bed. Now it will not fit the larger beds, or like the extra large ComGrow one. Those are CO2 beds. They're different size. I'll cover that in a second. If you want to make these yourself. So if you want to make these yourself, this is how it works. Your bed is usually going to be about 22 to 25 millimeters thick. So that's how tall you want them to be. And the 10 millimeter right here, this is for like a CO2. They're usually 10 millimeter openings, and I size them at 8.5. For diode lasers, they're 8 millimeter holes, and I size them from 5.5 to 8 millimeters. So you'll see here, 10 by 3 is 7.5 to 8.4 peak, and let me explain to you what that means. This is a diode honeycomb bed, so it's going to be an 8 millimeter bed, but it's not necessarily 8 millimeters everywhere. You can see that horizontally is wider than vertically. These pins account for that. As you saw in the video, putting them in and taking them out is because they're very similarly designed to this, where you can slide them in one way and then turn them all the way around to lock them in the other direction. They work very well. But if you're going to design your own, you have to design something that will fit into this. So again, this is the diode one, which is the 8 millimeter. And let me just get one of the diode pins here so you can see what I'm talking about. So it is 6.25 at the bottom, 7.25 right at the top, right where this part is right here, across here, 7.25 at the bottom, 6.25. That ensures that it'll fit into the hole in any direction, and then you just turn it at the top and it locks itself in place. And then you just design the little part over here. And this is called a dog pin or a bench dog. When you push down on this part contacts the material first and causes the bottom to kick in this way. So that's what locks it in place in any direction. That's it. That you can create your own standoff pins just as easily as printing them, faster than you can print them. For the people that are, don't want to do all of this, well, you can just order them online. All right, so we're going to jump over to afpins.com, and this is a very slow server, so you might want to just give it a few seconds to load. It will load, afpins.com. As you can see, I'm recording this over the July 4th weekend, so you're not going to get your order processed until July 5th, but that's okay because this video probably won't publish until July 4th. So you could just come in here, order from here. Here they are right here, anti-flashback hold down pins, 8 per pack, and then inside here are the options. You select whether you have the 8 millimeter honeycomb bed for the diode laser, or if you have the 10 millimeter for the CO2. And then they also have over here dog pins as well. You get 8 of them for $12, and I think that's a pretty good deal. And down here is also something interesting. These triangle key knobs. This is for those big metal keys that you get in your CO2, and I did do a video on this about 1.5 years ago about making it out of wood, but these are so much prettier. Now you'll see if I click on that, it's going to take a few minutes to get to that page. The server is very slow, but here it is. Okay, so we have the triangle key knobs for $2. This is a good buy. Now these fit into either Ohmtech, let me get to this picture, Ohmtech, Monport, any of these machines, these little keyholes right here in the front, and there are a few of them all around the machine, and they're triangle shaped. So here's a better close-up. Really nice design, pretty cover. I like that. And you can either get multiples of these and CA glue them on, or glue them on so they're permanent and they look pretty. That's probably what I would do. Or you could just buy one or two, have one as a backup, and just use them as the regular key. But we're talking today about the honeycomb hold down pins. That's all they have really for sale here. They do have this one graphic, eat, sleep, burn, repeat. Here it's just a graphic for your stainless steel mug or your tumbler or whatever it might be. But again, today we're discussing these pins. You get 8 of them for $12. I think that's a pretty good deal. If you're interested in getting these honeycomb pins, I will put a link down in the bottom. I get no commission, by the way, for doing this. This is just something that I think would help out the community, and I love the fact that I'm also helping out a small business. By you buying from this company, it is a small business, and she's trying to get off the ground with this company. And she did send me these way back in January, and I haven't had time to get the review or the testing done on them, but they do work perfectly. And that's about it, folks. These are the different, let me explain to you a little bit the different packages and what the numbers on them mean for when you order. So let's say you have a CO2 and you order 10-3. So this is 10-3. What this means is 10 millimeter bed for the CO2 and 3 millimeter size for the material. If you have different size material, well, you can get it in 5 millimeter. So this is 10-5. So there's 5 millimeter wood. So you can, that's what the numbers mean. 10-3, 3 millimeter wood, CO2, 10-5, 5 millimeter wood. And then of course you have 8-3 and you have 8-5, which is diode, 8 diode, 3 millimeter, 8-3, 8 diode, 5 millimeter, 8-5. So that's how those numbers work. That's about it. I want to give a big thank you out to my patrons who sponsor this video. They're the ones that pay for all of my supplies that I need to make videos. If you're interested in becoming a patron, right down there below you'll see show more. If you click on show more, there are links to my Patreon account. You can also click the little thanks button underneath the video if you want to give me a tip for showing you how to get perfect cuts with no flashback. And there's all kinds of great links to products and things down in the show more section that you'll want to take a look at. I have coupon codes for different things. It's just loaded with valuable links for the viewer, and a lot of people don't look at that. And also, please don't forget to subscribe. Half of you that are watching are not subscribed, and I don't know why, because that doesn't cost anything at all. If you want to support the channel and you don't want to pay any money, you can just click on the link to my Amazon store there. Anything you buy on Amazon after you've clicked that link to my Amazon store, whether it's in my Amazon store or anywhere else on Amazon, will put a couple of pennies in my pocket and help to support the channel, and it won't cost you a penny more. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope this helped you out. You learned how to cut your material without any flashback whatsoever, and not having to pick up the material off the workbed and say, oh, didn't go through in all these little spots, let me cut it out with my knife. Save you a whole bunch of time. I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And as always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.